Hi, this is Eric at FlexPVC, and I've got a somewhat unusual fitting. This fitting is so unusual that I really need to make a video just on this fitting so that you'll understand what it is. Very few people are going to need this video, but if you do, or excuse me, need this product, but if you do, then this is a very good video for you. Okay, this is part number 372906031IXS. Okay. What makes this fitting so weird? In the plumbing world, if you look on our pipe size page, you're going to see from quarter, eighth of an inch, all the way up to 24 inches. But within that span, you're going to see several different classifications. But those classifications are general categories. And in each category is a different classification, sometimes just one, sometimes many. One pipe that throws a lot of people off is what is known as SDR35. SDR35 is not SDR32.5. Okay? People who are not familiar with the plumbing world, they'll hear either one of these and the other, or the other, and they will think it's the same product that they're talking about. SDR35 is a special pipe. It's generally used for drainage, irrigation ditches, and sewers. It's a very thin wall pipe, and it does not fit your standard IPS Schedule 40, Schedule 80, Class 100, Class 200, etc. Okay? It's a totally different world. Why? Doesn't matter. Not going to get into that. That would make this video 2 hours long. Okay, so what this product does is it bridges the gap between the two, but it does so in a very unusual way. Okay. I don't have anything here to show you. Okay, typically SDR35 is just a little bit smaller than your standard Schedule 40, Class 100, DWV pipe, etc. And this is 6-inch. So typically a Schedule 40 6-inch pipe is right at 6 5/8. It's 6.685 or something like that. It's just, if you measure with a tape measure, it comes out to be 6 5/8 on the outside. The inside is determined by the classification. If it's Schedule 40, it's someplace around 6 inches. If it's Schedule 80, it's like 5.8, 5.9, etc. So the thicker wall makes the ID smaller. All right. If it's like Class 100, then it's 6.2, I think, but it's quite a bit bigger because it's a thinner wall. Okay. I think one of the reasons the SDR35 pipes exist is because they're just a little bit cheaper, because they're always thin wall, and they're generally not pressure rated, or if they are pressure rated, it's very low. Class 100, it's thin wall, but it's rated for 100 psi. Class 200, it's also thin wall, but it's rated for 200 psi. Obviously, Schedule 40, Schedule 80, Schedule 120, they're rated for much higher pressures. And when you get that higher pressure rating, you need to use a denser, stronger plastic. But when you just specify something to be either very low pressure or strictly drainage, gravity feed, sewer, things like that, venting, you don't need a pressure rating. Since you don't need a pressure rating, a whole bunch of other things comes into play and your price goes down. Okay. However, sometimes that pipe can be really hard to find. And sometimes you've got a small project that you just need a short little piece just to make a connection or fix something that's been damaged, truck running over it, construction equipment smacking into it, so forth. Okay, so what a lot of people do is, instead of even bother trying to find the pipe, and usually people will want you to buy at least a stick, if not a whole bundle, what you can do is you can use a pressure rated pipe to bridge the gap, make a temporary fix or a permanent fix on a small portion of the pipe that needs to be addressed. Now, normally the way we do this is, and as I'm looking around to see if I have anything in my office that matches this, but I think I've made other videos on this. If not, I'll make a new one, no big deal. But normally what you do is you take a Schedule 40 coupling or a fitting, a T and 90, whatever, and then you put a small reducer bushing in it that reduces down from your large IPS Schedule 40, Schedule 80 type pipe down to the smaller SDR35 pipe. Okay, and that's what I like to do. I use it all the time. It's definitely one of the easiest ways, and it's easier for people to conceptualize I got a bigger pipe with a bigger fitting going to a smaller pipe. You put them together, there's a gap between the two. You need a bushing in between the two. Makes total sense. Okay. This accomplishes the same job, but in a different way. In order to show you how this works, I have to use my caliper. Okay. I know you're not going to be able to see this, but you're just going to watch me measure it and trust me. Okay. So we open it up. Oh, geez, I never even checked to see if this is charged. There we go. Okay, we're good. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to measure this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the outside diameter right here. Okay. I'm measuring the outside of this part. And it is 6.625, 6.58. That is the exact same outside of a Schedule 40, Schedule 80, other IPS pipe size, 6-inch pipe, which means a 6-inch coupling would fit over this, or a T or any other fitting. The inside kind of doesn't matter, but I'll measure it anyways, is right at 6.00 inches, 6-inch nominal pipe size, meaning nominal means in name only. But in this case, it turns out to be 6 inches. Now, what is on the other side? On the other side, I'm going to measure the inside because the inside matters. And what do I get? 6.25. Okay, 6.25, 6.25, is the outside diameter for this crazy pipe SDR35 in 6-inch. So what you would do is you would slide this over. If it's got coming up out of the ground, you're going to slide it over your SDR35 6-inch pipe, and then you're going to put some Schedule 40, Schedule 80, Class 100, Class 200 fitting over the top of this. It's going to go over it, okay? And if you want to continue the pipe, in other words, let's say it's going horizontal, and you've got your SDR35 over here, but it stops here and it's washing out your yard or your farm or whatever, and you need to extend this down there, okay? And you can't find SDR35 pipe, but you can find Schedule 40 all day long, and it's Class 100, Class 200 all day long. So in that case, this would slide over your SDR35 pipe, go into, and then this would be the exact same size as 6-inch pipe. I wish I'd grabbed a piece of 6-inch pipe, but a 6-inch pipe will go right there. And a 6-inch IPS size, Schedule 40, Schedule 80, coupling would slide over this, and then of course your 6-inch pipe would go into it. I actually have something here. This is a big old branching Y 6-inch. So my 6-inch will go into this. Now, I'm not going to push it all the way because then it's too hard to get it out. But you can see that it goes in. So this would be a 6-inch fitting. I'll hold it up like that. Okay? And it would go over this. And then you could put a 6-inch pipe here. You put whatever's going out wherever you want it to go. Like let's say you're trying to disperse some water from a big old SDR35 6-inch pipe and you want to disperse it someplace else. Okay, so now you can disperse it through 6, 4, and 4. You could put a reducer bushing here, take it to 4, which if you did that, you would want to use a eccentric coupling, which I need to do a video on that. That's something I've meant to do for a long time. An eccentric, why do I do this? An eccentric, concentric means circle within a circle. Okay, you got a circle and you got a circle within a circle. There we go. Okay, so concentric, I'm going to do it this way. Let's see if I can do it. This would be centered. I don't know if I'm centered. In the camera, I can't see it, okay? But if it's down at the bottom, that's eccentric, okay? That means it's not centered, okay? So a eccentric fitting would be one where you're 4 inches down here. And you want that because you would want the water to flow this way. If you put a standard concentric fitting here, then there'd be a rise, an elevation right here. You can't even see that, sorry. There'd be an elevation up here. So then this would be puddling water, which you would not want to do, okay? So I'm going to do a whole video on that. I've convinced myself I need to do it. Anyways, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent on this, but I wanted to make sure I did a video. Okay, I'm sorry about that. The Nikon has a 10-minute limit on videos, and that ended quite abruptly. So what I did, I wanted to finish saying a couple things. this product will do what you need it to do. If you're trying to adapt SDR35 6-inch to IPS pipe 6-inch, Schedule 40, Schedule 80, Class 100, Class 63, Class 125, etc., etc. It will do it. It just does it in a little bit different way. Why do people use SDR35 in the first place? It's cheaper. And it's cheaper. So other than that, there's no other reason to use it. And the thing is, there's a consolidation in the plumbing world. I can't help but think eventually SDR35 is going to go away. I kind of hope so, because it really confuses a lot of people and it causes a lot of mistakes when people are buying plumbing fittings. Okay, so at FlexPVC, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like it. Even better, subscribe to the channel if you can. And we only put out videos once in a while, but we try and put out videos that have some benefit to customers in the YouTube channel, YouTube universe. All right, this has been Eric. Thank you for watching.